cheers. This is new. I feel like I don't think I've had class wine. Maybe I have. I have not really been drinking a lot, which is, I guess, good, but interesting, different. It is freezing in here. And I'm trying to not wear my same gray hoodie all the time, especially because I actually did my makeup today. So it's the end of the day, 5:30-ish, 5:43. Actually, I should do a little timer because I don't have a ton of time tonight. Okay, I am so excited about structuring this a little bit. I decided this week, this is my last week in southern Portugal. I actually have like my suitcases organized a bit. This morning I actually like cried about it. I started like separating things and I literally immediately got emotional, like really emotional about leaving. Yeah, I'm really sad about not being here. I think for like not being here, like physically here, I'm gonna miss my host and just like southern Portugal in general. It's just, I don't know, it's so calm and relaxing. But then Portugal in general, I'm gonna be in Lisbon. Today I want to talk about why I'm doing any of this, why I'm recording anything at all, and what my intent or hope is around having this vlog and who I'm hoping to connect with in the future and just who I am, like authentically who I am and why any of this is happening in my life and in this space. What's strange about that is I feel like there's probably so much I've already talked about in different, like in pockets of things, and it's hard to keep it straight. My beautiful friend sent me a little gift. It was like the nicest surprise. I think it was on Friday. Actually, I guess technically, maybe it was on Saturday because I feel like I woke up and saw it. I think it was maybe Saturday to go and book an adventure. And so I did. I'm a little hesitant / bummed because it's supposed to be really rainy. It's been so rainy. Although what's interesting is the forecast will just say like 12 days of rain. But then actually throughout the day, there'll be like pockets of sunshine, which is almost harder because you don't know how to plan. So it's a little bit like, oh, it's nice. I could maybe get like an hour walk. And then it's like all of a sudden the clouds come in and it's gray. So anyway, there are 2 all-day trips that I'm looking at for this coming up weekend. And I would love to book one of them. They're on the same day, so I'd have to like pick one of them. The only challenge is both of them are predominantly outdoors. So if it's raining, I just feel like, is that really, maybe it's better to go to some museums. I have 2 friends. I think I have like, actually, let's think. I would say I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I think 4 friends. I think 4 friends that I could actually say are friend-ish enough that I could establish more of a connection. I have probably at least 3 other seeds planted of becoming friends where if I initiated and put some effort, which I will do when I come back in May, I want to keep those connections. So yeah, like a little group of women, ladies that I'm excited to hopefully get to know more. And when I'm back in Lisbon, I will get to spend time with 2 of them. And one of them was suggesting some museums. And so if it is rainy and gray and going somewhere for the day is not the best use of time, then I guess museums would be fun. Not quite as fun, but still fun nonetheless. So I thought through this the other day because I would think of myself as a fairly confident and outgoing person, extroverted. I love people. I love being at events and having plans and going out. Honestly, being home and alone, not my favorite. So being alone as much as I've been this last stretch is really fascinating because I really think I have had to learn how to be more comfortable with that and also still honor the parts of me that just really crave people and crave connection. But finding that balance is so important. I know I'm the type of person who like 2, 3, 4 days in a row of not leaving the house, I start to get very like, what are we doing? Why aren't we doing anything? Like I honestly would love to do something every day. Like if there's something to do every day, like fun things, but like go out and do something that even if it's just like taking a walk, I think that's always why I've loved having pets and dogs because I love even just taking a walk and getting coffee just to go somewhere. So I think for me, what's really eye-opening is that does not always translate into full vulnerability, which is also a strange thing, because when I really am honest about why I want to do any of this and why I would share anything at all, I genuinely want to form a community around who I am as a person. I've been able to create and build community outside of myself, like for business. Even just like early on as a hairstylist, I built a community of clients, and then I built a community of other hairstylists, makeup artists, and bridal stylists predominantly at first. And then I built a community of other beauty entrepreneurs. And then I built a community of women in Chicago. And then I built a community of entrepreneurs in the creative spaces. And it's always professionally. This is so uncomfortable to acknowledge, but it's almost like I don't really have to be my full self. I can hide behind the professional parts of me, but really that is just like the tiniest part of my, like who I am. It's such a small part of me. And I'm really hoping that I can use this experience of starting over in every sense of the word, like across the board, professionally and personally, to build a community of women who connect with me in like all parts of who I am and what I'm sharing. And so in order to do that, I don't have to do anything, I guess. I choose to really openly share some of the things I've kept tucked away. And it is almost like skeletons. It's like the parts of me that I'm just like, do I want to talk about that? What's so wild, this just came through for me the other day on a walk. It's never really because I don't want someone to know that about me, actually, because I will have these conversations with people. I've noticed, especially actually when I did van life. And now I really feel like it's just some form of, I don't know if like superpower or gift or something, but I don't appear how I like there's a difference. There's a difference isn't even right. Like when you meet me, if you don't know me, I mean, again, maybe this is your first time ever seeing me. I think I come across as, I don't know, maybe a little bit, maybe superficial, maybe, I think a lot of my career path, because I was so established in the beauty industry, I think that gives this kind of persona of, I must be this, with like my makeup on and my hair this is just my hair now. I do brown brush my bangs like almost every day because bangs, don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. Just kidding. But I swear that and even my hair dark, I can see all my grays now, which is just like, my hair was highlighted and light blonde. I've been like a shade of blonde for a very long time. And I went darker, kind of this, post breakup, very stereotypical, like go darker and cut bangs. It's like what everyone did it. And now bangs are just, for someone like me who, I guess here's the pros and cons. Tangent. Follow me over this way. Pros and cons. My hair almost always does look more put together. I do feel like my hair, even if I put it up, I can do like a very quick, easy clip, and my hair is just like, oh, look at her cute hair. I can have like a few little wispies, whatever. And I can wear it down. And because I round brush the front, like literally here, this can be kind of frizzy and crazy. And it's like, it's not bad, Cons, you have to do that every day. That's like, because if I don't, like they're literally like just every way. And this is like good. These are finally like somewhat long. Actually, again, you will see if you keep watching this. There are plenty of things where the bangs are maybe a little bit funky. Anyway, I have always been hesitant to share these skeletons or these parts of me because I care so much about protecting other people. And that is something that I really want to push myself out of. I worry a lot about, first, how I will be perceived, which I think I've worked through. I think I've gotten to a place of, I don't care. And I'm trying even to like not swear so much, because I do think like sometimes that's it's just a cop out. It's like, I don't know what else to say, so I just say things like that. When really, like, parts of me do care very much. And those are the parts of me that are struggling and need attention from me, not external validation, attention from me. Those are the parts that have probably always struggled in those areas for different reasons, different experiences, conditioning, trauma, whatever. So me as the person who's sitting here right now recording this, I have worked to a place where I don't care. I don't care if someone thinks I'm cringy, if someone mutes me, unfollows me, blocks me, scrolls past me, doesn't acknowledge it, like whatever, like even in real life too, like I feel this like, cool, cool sounds good. I don't like non-attachment. I really feel like in that part of life, because it's been almost a necessity, I feel pretty neutral to it today. Me, this person sitting here talking. However, who will just like say like, I don't give a no big deal, off the cuff. But then actually there are parts of me who still very much do give lots of are still very much like, what are we doing? This is not a good idea. And we'll check like who watched my stories, like how many views did this get? How many views did this not get? Like all these things that then those parts of me are like determining my worthiness. And I'm working so hard to integrate those parts into this part of me that are just resistant and like clinging on for dear life. So part of me doing this is also for me to put myself into that next level of reclaiming a lot of that, which comes from, truthfully, probably early childhood. And I want to introduce that in this conversation because I think that is where so much of my challenge has come from throughout my life. And it's reflected in personal relationships. It's reflected in breakups, romantic relationships, even friendships, but it's way deeper than that. And so part of my time that I've had spending so much time by myself has been reflecting around this need to protect. Yeah. And it's really not serving me anymore. I know that those parts of me actually want freedom. They actually want to feel heard and liberated and want to not care, want to be able to say like, cool, cool, I'm not 12 anymore. I'm not 7 anymore. I don't need you to survive anymore, actually. So if you don't like anything at all that I'm doing and or me as a person, like that's okay. I'm not even totally sure if I like you, turns out. So yeah, that's been this internal struggle. And I've really leaned into that with this. Obviously nothing has been shared yet. So on my socials, I share things that are definitely more on the, I guess, on the cringe spectrum. But honestly, even that is a stretch for me. It's helping me move closer to where I ultimately want to be, which is able to stand in my own self-worth without using any external validation to determine that worthiness. So I'm doing it this way. This is my practice. This is how I can keep integrating that in my life. And my hope honestly is that me doing this, me sharing this way will allow me to connect with more women who are like me, who have either similar backgrounds or similar upbringings or similar traumas or similar desires, want to move themselves into this level of freedom that I'm looking to move into as well. So that community that I envision for myself, that I've had tastes of throughout my professional career and then even through like my religious upbringing, which I'm going to talk a little tiny bit about, which feels so uncomfortable. But that was my initial connection and community. So I do feel like life has this kind of like needle and thread pattern where things that you have experienced come back around for different reasons, and you've created this almost like this tapestry of experiences that all come together to create like a picture of life and help you recognize like, oh, I know for me, I love public speaking. I've had the privilege of speaking a handful of times like on stages with audiences of different sizes, and that's something I intend to do in more capacity and hopefully express myself that way in the future. And I know part of my thread of that, I grew up, oh my goodness, it's so strange to even have this pause to just say these things, because it's like, it's not that big of a secret. It's really, truly, if you have a conversation with me, I will just tell you all about this and we will have big, elaborate conversations about it. And most people will like, what? Oh my God, you did? Tell me this. Like, most people get very like, everyone wants to ask a million questions, but for whatever reason, I always feel this, yeah, I can like feel I have so much insecurity and self-doubt around talking about my upbringing. But I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness, one of Jehovah's Witnesses. I laughed to myself because as I was growing up, it would drive me crazy, absolutely insane when somebody would say, you're a Jehovah's Witness, because it's not grammatically correct. And also it would make me feel, I don't know, less than in some way, or I don't know. And my mom also would always correct. That was always one of Jehovah's Witnesses. We would always be like corrected around it. That narrative is what still holds me back from sharing. My mom and I have a really complicated relationship, and I struggle with knowing where the line is of how I speak my truth around that, because I intend to use my experiences to empower others, and she doesn't like that. She doesn't like the idea of me talking about that. And I have had kind of this realization around this entire process of recording these vlogs and figuring out what is my purpose around this, what's the narrative, what's my intention, all of it. And I've realized that the people who don't want me to talk about things are the people that recognize how their behavior would not be received well, from my perspective, from me sharing my story. The people who wouldn't want me to share are the people that have hurt me. Yeah. And that's hard to acknowledge. It's hard to face. It's hard to look at. And I think a lot of people probably go through this when they are starting to step into using their voice that way. Yeah. So it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to talk about my family. It's uncomfortable to talk about my history. It's uncomfortable to talk about my religious trauma. Yeah, it's uncomfortable because I know there are people that don't want me to talk about these things. I know there are quite a few people. I will actually be labeled in a really negative way by talking about this outwardly. I left the Jehovah's Witness organization when I was 17. I was first disfellowshipped, which is a really traumatic experience for a young adult. Yeah, really challenging thing to experience. I think part of my love for and almost addiction to community is the fact that my own community was stripped away from me that way. It's a very public process. And when you're young, you really depend on that support and acceptance, really. I think acceptance is a big part of that. So when that is taken from you, and then also like not only taken from you, but also you're like punished publicly in that way, the shame, like the amount of shame that creates, I can like feel my chest feels so tight right now talking about it. And I'm 36. It's actually, what is it, 18, I think it's 36. So I was right around that age. I think I was 17 or 18 years old, something like that. So half my life, I've literally had as much time out of this cult. I'm just gonna say things that I've always thought and have held myself away from saying. This to me, first of all, I believe honestly that all organized religion is cult-based. I feel like it is completely designed around patriarchy, and it was all created and designed to suppress and oppress. Yep. Yeah, I believe that organized religion, was designed to suppress and oppress lots of different people, but women especially, truthfully. That's my belief. It's okay if your belief is different. I do believe that there are many wonderful people within religions, within even cults. It's strange for me to even separate them because I really feel like any type of organized control around a belief system feels like a cult to me. I feel like when you really get like down to the nitty gritty and you separate and dissect definitions of words, like it's all cult behavior. It's all like, if some people are good and some people are bad in any way, in any capacity, it's a hierarchy. Like, you're creating hierarchy, which I don't agree with personally. So yeah, I think a lot of people share that belief, truthfully. I think the more people that I share my beliefs with, the more people I connect to who also believe similarly. I think religion is dying, much like the patriarchy, actually. Yeah, so many things I could go into tangents about around that. But I really do feel there's a saying, I can't remember, I should find it, but it's something along the lines of women create life, so men created religion. There are great men. There are really great men in the world, but way back forever and ever and ever ago, I think men used religion to dominate the gift of women being in power through creation. And that definitely shows through in the religion that I was raised in. It is all male dominated. It is a very profitable religious organization. It is very oppressive. There's so much hypocrisy. There's so much hidden. And I will be labeled as an apostate for saying things like this, which is something I've been terrified of since I left, which again is just wild. So I was disfellowshipped when I was 17 or 18, which is a public form of ostracizing, I think is the right word, where you're removed publicly. I actually confessed my sins and then was disfellowshipped because of them. So that process too is fascinating and interesting because you sit in a room with older men. So for me as a young woman, young adult, if even. So, it just is so disgusting to me, truthfully. I want to go back and just hug that version of me and protect her from all of this. I cannot, it's like hard to even externally communicate, but you confess and you're asked specific questions around sexual practices, your body, your behaviors, your thoughts, your emotions, and you're alone. You're by yourself. My family, my parents were not there with me. I actually have my journals and my diaries, so I would be curious to go back and see if I was in fact 18 years old or if I was 17, which again, emotionally, does it matter? No, not at all. But legally, I think it allows these practices to happen. Even I think still today, I don't know. I stay away from that religion. Yeah, but I was raised in this religion. I was disfellowshipped at a young age. I then worked diligently to get back into the religion. So you go through a process of reinstatement. I was so ashamed, so embarrassed. You also lose your friends. You lose your circle, your community, because no one can speak to you. Like flat out, you are not allowed to be spoken to. Now they've recently changed this, which is so fascinating to me. It makes me high-V. It's changed, which is just so interesting to me because why did it change? We're not even gonna go all the way this way. However, it's recently changed, and so now if you are basically preaching or pulling strings or using like guilt tripping, if you are guilt tripping someone who is disfellowshipped, you can actually speak to them now, and you can encourage them to come back to the cult that has publicly humiliated them. You're allowed. That's allowed now. It's been announced, so it's allowed by men, by a group of men. It's just disgusting. It's so disgusting to me that there are people I know still, my own family is still a part of this. So it's hard for me to wrap my head around practices like this and acknowledge that this is not like a story that happened in the 1800s. This is right now. This is literally right now. And this was my experience as a young adult. So I went through the process of getting reinstated. You write letters to this group of men begging to be forgiven. And this group of men, who are ick to say the least. The three men that sat with me, one of them I felt comfortable with. And I only felt comfortable with him because he was a very close family friend with my dad, and he was a much older man. I do think that there are good people that get sucked into this, and I think he was one of those people. I think he was truly a good man who wanted to do the right thing from his understanding. The other two, disgusting, like heebie-jeebie, disgusting. If either of them, if I ever saw, actually I do think another one has passed, the third is still alive, I would protect my children from this man. Disgusting man to me, just yucky. Never want to be caught alone in a dark room with this man. And was he the man that asked me the most questions? Yes, from my memory, he is the man who asked me the most questions. And I'm not even going to get into it. These are the things, again, I still protect. From what? I don't even know, but gross man, just a gross man. And as a woman, you know these things. When a man looks at you in a way that is gross, it's just a knowing. And so as he's asking me as a 17, 18-year-old girl about my sexual experiences, the way he looked at me was gross. Point blank, period. That's it. Disgusting. So again, I struggle with understanding how I went through that, how my family allowed that, especially my mom allowed that, just like as a woman, allowing another generation of this practice to happen. But it happens, it still happens. And so over the last 18 years since I've left, after I wrote these letters, I was reinstated eventually. That's another offshoot. I wrote 3 letters. My first 2 were genuinely sincere. All I wanted was to be accepted back into this cult for myself, for my own ego, for my own friendships, my relationships, but for my family too. It's so humiliating. It is just completely embarrassing. You embarrass your family, you embarrass your parents, it's just awful. So I wanted to be reinstated for those reasons. And then also this connection to God, what I was conditioned to believe God was at that point in my life. So God punishes you from this perspective. So again, for me, I'm being punished by God and no one will speak to you. And like, not just not speak to you, like not make eye contact with you, like literally you scarlet letter, like won't make eye contact with you, will go to these elders, these men, this group of men, and tell on you if anyone is socializing with you in any capacity, if they see you at a grocery store, if they see you whatever, and you are in any way interacting, even with your own family. This happened. My mom and I went shopping and someone reported our experience as if it were social. My mom and I are shopping together and that wasn't allowed. That's not allowed. Now, again, 2025, being a JW is much different than it was when I was a kid. So I'm going to pause there because I have plans, but I think I'm going to come back and keep talking about this and why I'm doing this and the reason behind sharing this way, in hopes that it will connect you with other parts of me outside of just my career.